I'm Tyler Suiters, and you're watching Clean Skies News. We are in Los Angeles right now talking with one of the leaders of the clean air movement right now in this state, Mary Nichols. She is chairman of the California Air Resources Board. Mary, it's great to have you with us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
And I say one of the leaders because your state is so powerful in terms of directing policy. It's certainly the most powerful among the 50.
Yes, we're the only state in the country that has the legal ability to set clean air standards. We have to go to the federal government and get permission to implement them, but under the Federal Clean Air Act, which essentially allowed this privilege to California, they recognized that California was there first. We started regulating vehicles and fuels back in the days when, unfortunately, we first discovered smog, a little bit ahead of the rest of the country. And we've always been willing in California to be pioneers. There's a price that you pay for leadership. Normally, every couple of years, we see new models before others do. The manufacturers come here to test out new ideas about vehicles, but at the same time, people pay a couple $100 more oftentimes for a car in California, but they're willing to do it for the privilege or the honor or just the fun of being involved in advanced technologies and being part of being on the cutting edge.
One of the issues of your role as a leader, though, Mary, is the fact that you are leading in the legal challenges and the suits that are filed. You're out in front of all these issues. How much has changed with the change in administration in Washington and the change in the EPA administration as well?
Well, it's
been drastic.
It's night and day. Really, when President Obama was just candidate Obama, he already had pledged that if he were elected, he would grant California the waiver that we needed in order to enforce our greenhouse gas emission standards. And this was the first time anybody had ever attempted to actually regulate the tailpipe emission of the pollutants that are damaging the atmosphere. And not only did he make good on his word when he came into office and appointed in Lisa Jackson at EPA, a person who's been a partner of mine in this effort for years now. When she was commissioner in New Jersey adopted the California standards, and they intervened and helped us in our litigation. So, you know, this is not a newfound friendship here. This goes back. But also, it's important to realize that when the Obama administration announced that they were going to grant the waiver, they did something that in many ways was more revolutionary, and I don't think it's gotten as much attention as it deserves, which is that they ordered EPA and NHTSA, the agency that's responsible for setting fuel economy standards in this country, to work together to implement a standard that would use greenhouse gases, would require the federal government for the first time to regulate greenhouse gases, and it would mean that our fuel economy standards would have to match up with our greenhouse gas goals. So this is a big push. It's forcing the Department of Transportation to move much more aggressively than they ever had in the past. They've stepped up to the plate very willingly, but now we've got the transportation folks and the environmental folks working together. They're using the same models. They're looking ahead to the future of what the vehicles are going to be like. And I believe that this is going to actually benefit the auto industry. They supported this too. They came in, we had this wonderful ceremony in the Rose Garden back in May. I think of them as the Rose Garden standards because the president announced that the federal government would be adopting California's standards, and the car companies said, and we're going to drop our lawsuits. And that's where we are now, is that we are, you know, this is a new world for us. Nobody's suing anybody. Everybody's a little uneasy about it, but I do see a level of collaboration and cooperation going on with the industry and the regulators. It's just different. Everybody, you know, we know a lot more about their business and a lot more about their problems than we used to. We've seen what the economic collapse did to the car industry. We know that our country has an interest in maintaining a vibrant auto industry, and at the same time we know that we've got to get serious quickly about meeting our climate goals. So these things are all coming together. It's a really exciting time to be working on these issues.
Mary, final question. Since you know not only the issues but the players at hand very well, what is your prediction about the potential EPA regulation of GHGs, especially CO2? Will it come to fruition before we get legislation?
I think that EPA is moving at a very rapid pace in order to show that they can use their existing authority under the Clean Air Act and do it in a way that's responsible, doesn't bankrupt any industry or place undue burdens on any particular sector, but at the same time that they can be trusted to wisely help lead the kind of transformation that needs to be made. I'm sure that they are doing this because they want to show the world that the United States has the will to act in this area. It takes Congress a little longer. I do believe that Congress will adopt a comprehensive climate bill, but this is something that they haven't done before. And given the regional differences that we have, the concerns that different parts of the country have about whether they're coal dependent or whether they have options in the area of renewables, there's going to have to be some very tough negotiations that take place within the Congress before they get a bill adopted. And so what we have to do is, not to take away their authority because they are a vital player here, but to not just wait and do nothing. And this way, I think by EPA beginning to roll out the finding of endangerment, to start to look at some of the regulatory options that they have, this will help, I think, pave the way for Congress to do what needs to be done.
Mary Nichols is in her second stint as chairman of the California Air Resources Board. Probably not any easier the second time around. Madam Chairman, a pleasure to have you with us. And thank you for joining us as well. From Los Angeles, I'm Tyler Souters. You're watching Clean Skies News.